Good. Mike?
I
No
forgot
freezing?
last. Yep, I'm good. So the extra money, he's not making Alex want to stay? No, he's done.
His wife has been bugging him for 2.5 years. He started talking about 2.5 years, and I just said, you need a little bit more retirement, you know.
Yeah.
He was only going to be here for 5 years. And he just wanted to get vested in this because he had a couple other retirements.
Must be nice.
And so he stayed almost 2.5 years longer.
Well, we're happy you stayed.
Yeah, he's good, and boy, do we have a good staff. It'll be a good transition. You know, I mean, it'll be. You know, any person coming in is going to have a chance to settle down without being fired on. We've been trained up. We'll be okay. You'd think there was a rate case tonight.
I know. I've never seen it like this. I'm a little intrigued and nervous.
I think it's because of the 3 new ones, you know. I mean, I've been here for 1 new one, and then one time there was 2, but it's just weird to see this many people.
So it's different this time?
Huh?
It's different this time?
Different. You know, Alex did say he wanted to thank everybody for all the work they did on the new spec and all of that stuff. He was really had a lot of gratitude. You know, it's just
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the green light's on.
it's
When the green light's on, it's on.
Nothing.
Hello?
I had nothing.
Are they on?
He's been like little questions.
Not like I have to say anything.
Hello? Yeah. Let's call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Cruz?
Here.
Councilmember Mawson?
Here.
Councilmember Campion?
Here.
Councilmember Lamson?
Here.
Mayor Hewer?
Here. If you join me in a silent prayer for Shirley Turner, who we lost on November 21st. If we could have a moment of silence in her honor. Flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Replay statement.
This meeting of the Galt City Council will be cablecast on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T Uverse cable systems. The meeting is closed captioned and webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting will air Friday, December 7th at 9 a.m. and Saturday, December 8th at 9 a.m. The City Council meeting videos are also archived on the city's website. A DVD copy is available for checkout from any library branch.
November 6, 2018 election results, certification of the November 6, 2018 general municipal election results.
So tonight, we're adopting a resolution accepting the certification from Sacramento County Registrar of Voters. We have the certificate of facts that was delivered on Friday. There were 3 council member seats voted on. The candidates were Sean L. Farmer, Paul Santu, Rich Lozano, Lori G. Hewer, Mark E. Cruz, Jean Davenport, Tom Malson, and Bob Ballier. Sean L. Farmer received 3,533 votes, Paul Santu, 3,500, and Rich Lozano, 2,648. There were 3 elected to 4-year seats. In addition to that, there was a Measure G. Shall the office of the city clerk for the city of Galt be appointed? Yes votes were 3,435, and the no votes were 3,524. This measure failed. So I needed a city council to make a motion to adopt the resolution, please.
So moved.
Motion by Vice Mayor Cruz. Do I have a
Second.
second? Second by Councilmember Lamson. Call for the vote.
Vice Mayor Cruz?
Aye.
Councilmember Mawson?
Aye.
Councilmember Campion?
Aye.
Councilmember Lamson?
Aye.
Mayor Hewer?
Aye. Motion passes 5-0 vote.
Thank you.
If Vice Mayor Cruz will meet me at the podium.
Certainly. Okay.
So, I get the honor, on behalf of the citizens of Galt, to thank you for your service. Mark was elected in 2010, served as mayor from 2014 to 2016, vice mayor from 2016 to 2018. He's lived in the Galt community for over 32 years, and you've had tremendous success and what you've done for us. So I just want to thank you. Congratulations.
Mayor, and one of my many pleasures as city manager is to work with the council, but on an annual basis, you appoint a mayor, and I have the pleasure to work more intimately with the mayor on setting agendas, working with the community on different social events, and this year has been a great pleasure for me. I really have appreciated your insight. You have your real passion for the community. You served, on the planning commission for 6 years. You're on the school board for several years before that, and I just always appreciated your insight and our conversation. So appreciate you being mayor.
Thank you.
For the last year, and we also have thank you for being on the city council for the last 4 years, and with our deepest appreciation, we honor Lori G. Hewer, mayor 2007 to 2018, year served 2014 to 2018. Thank you very much. Great.
Anyway, so we're going to take a recess now and reconvene in 15 minutes for the reorganization. Thank you.
We were both missed. I know. You were closer.
Go eat some cupcakes. Go right ahead.
You're talking to the wrong person.
Walking out with no jacket on.
Yes, go ahead and take it.
Now you know where to find me.
Mr. Elias, it's nice knowing you. You too, sir. Unlike this guy who sneaks up on me. He snuck up on me on line at night. He sneaks up on me on line at night. All in disguise and starts talking. I have no idea who it is. Behind the mask. I'm like, I'm looking at him in his eyes.
Next to him was Lance and picked up on it. He took him along. My man's sticking around him, and he still tried to do it.
What? Huh? I'll see you at night. Just see you there.
Any scout is right behind you. More sugar.
I've not.
Me too, I'm already.
He used to think he was in charge of Royal Rangers that were charged. Probably the best plane with dirt races ever. It was nice because all the wheels, and us working the wheels. My kids never touched them. We had, well, the guy that used to work there, he built the whole track for his house. Donated it, right? He got that clear.
That's how people get it.
All my wheels were set on a CNC machine.
Those with nicer toys can do it nicer. Right, it's good seeing you. That's when you take the wheels off my hand.
Let them see it.
All right. They look forward to it.
3 minutes and counting. Oh, it feels good over here. It's nice and chill. It's good right here. It's I don't know about you guys. Oh, it's hot.
Water
laughing on that like crazy. Yeah, I know. When we lost the other finance director, it's all that. Yeah. Got a hold of me and said, hey. Oh, and now that Winkler's leaving, he wants the. That's it. Yeah, he's got it. I told him. Yeah. I don't care where he sits. We got like 3 minutes. Man voice.
What do I have to do? What did you say I have to do?
You're going to call the meeting to order.
Call the meeting to order.
Yeah, and then you're going to say whatever is the first line, and then I'll take it from there.
Whatever the first line? Tell me what the first line is. Be right here. Subject. Okay. Do everything. Do I need the gavel? The only time I'll ever. Let them know. Tell them they get a couple minutes. It's okay. Is she gonna do the oath of office down here?
Yeah, she's gonna do it down here. And then once the other office is done,
Just as long as they don't.
Hey, how you been? Good seeing you. Yeah, I never heard back from her. It's like, oh, I said, you called back, and she called me once, and then I said, you didn't call back after you called.
oh, you don't have a
Well, there was some specific language that did need to be changed. I hope she changed it. And the only other thing I wanted to talk to her about is she needs to find out whether you can pay legal fees on private yards. Okay.
Oh, it feels cooler.
Yeah. Call the meeting to order. Donna?
Okay, next we're going to administer the oath of office to Sean Farmer, Paul Sandhu, and Rich Lozano. If you would come up center. do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
domestic, foreign, and
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
And I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and during such time
and during such time
as I'm a member
as I am a member
of the Galt City Council,
of the City Council.
I will faithfully discharge the duties
I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the position of council member
of the council member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Great, congratulations. We have a copy. He's going to take a family picture real quick before we continue the meeting. It'll be just a moment.
You sit back, or else we'll have your face. It's insured, right?
John, did you want a picture? Or did you want Okay, the first order of business is for me to take roll call with the new sitting city council. I'll start with Councilmember Campion.
Here.
Councilmember Lamson. Here. Councilmember Lozano.
Here.
Councilmember Sandhu.
Here.
Councilmember Farmer.
Here.
Next on the agenda is the election of mayor. The city attorney is going to review the process real quick.
Sure. So the city's procedural guidelines provide that the city clerk oversees the selection of the new mayor, and then the new mayor then oversees the selection of the vice mayor. The process is a little bit different than our general motion second procedure for nominations. You simply make a nomination. You can nominate yourself. There is no second required. And then once all nominations are made, the city clerk will close the nominations, and then we'll proceed based on the first nomination made, and we'll take votes then. The first person to receive a majority vote will become the new mayor. If we move through that process and we don't receive a majority, we'll do it a second time, again, starting with the first nomination and moving through the same order. If we don't get a majority for some reason at that point, then we'll reopen the nomination. The city clerk will reopen the nominations again. With that, I'll pass it back to the city clerk.
Are there any questions? Nope. Great. Okay, I will open the nominations.
Rich Lozano.
I have a nomination for Rich Lozano and a nomination.
Paige.
Paige Lamson. Are there any further nominations?
Do we need to nominate, if
Someone's already been nominated. Do we need to do a second?
No, you don't.
Okay.
No. Okay. Then I will go ahead and close nominations. We'll take Rich Lozano first by a roll call vote. Councilmember Campion?
Aye.
Councilmember Lamson?
No.
Councilmember Lozano?
Aye.
Councilmember Sandhu? No? And Councilmember Farmer?
No.
Next is Paige Lamson. I'll start the vote with Councilmember Campion.
No.
Councilmember Lamson?
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Sandhu?
Yes.
Councilmember Farmer?
Yes.
It passes 4-1. Paige Lamson is the new mayor. Next order of business is the election of vice mayor. You can take it.
All right, can I take nominations for the election of vice mayor?
I would like to nominate Sean Farmer as vice mayor.
We have Rich Lozano and Sean Farmer. Was that one first? Okay. So can we vote on close the nominations? Okay. And now vote? Where do I start with?
I'll do it. You say roll call vote.
Roll call vote, please.
Okay, Councilmember Campion?
Yes.
Rich Lozano?
Yes.
Yes. Councilmember Lamson?
No.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Sandhu?
No.
Councilmember Farmer?
No.
Okay, pass.
Okay, roll call vote for Sean Farmer for vice mayor.
Councilmember Campion?
No.
I should be sorry. Say Mayor Lamson.
Yes.
Councilmember Lozano?
Yes.
Councilmember Sandhu?
Yes.
Councilmember Farmer?
Yes.
Sean Farmer is the next vice mayor.
Congratulations. Do you want us to change seats?
You can do that next week. Yeah, I can do that.
If it's all right with you guys, we'll change seats at the next meeting. Councilmember Sandhu, is the green light on? Because I'm not hearing when you vote.
Just a button down.
Hello? Yeah.
There you go. All right. Would you like to, agenda approval, additions or deletions? Do we have any? Can I get a nomination, non-nomination, approve?
Doesn't need to.
And vote on it? Okay. And then is there a presentation?
I don't have any tonight.
And public comment?
Under Government Code Section 54954.3, members of the public may address the city council on non-agenda items. The public comment section is for the city council to receive comments. Except for brief responses to questions, no discussion or action may be taken on any item that is not listed on the agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Speaker cards are located on the table inside the entrances to the council chambers. Once completed, forward the speaker card to the clerk. Those persons wishing to speak on any item scheduled on the agenda will be given an opportunity to do so at the time that item is being considered.
Okay, we have 3 speaker cards at this time. I'd like to call Bob Bellet with the Commission on Aging.
Thank you, Bob.
I have one.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. Congratulations to the new additions. You beat me to the punch, soundly, I might add. So congratulations. The city clerk informed me a few weeks ago that because neither Alvin Roberts, who was my vice chair, nor Andrea Johnson live within the city limits, which is a 2011 requirement that is now being enforced, they cannot continue to serve on the Commission on Aging. There is also the requirement that the person interested in being appointed to a voluntary position on the Commission on Aging must be a registered voter and vote in the city of Galt. The two positions became vacant because of those two requirements. It has also come to my attention that these requirements are unique to the Commission on Aging, while other commissions allow at least 2 members to live outside the city limits to serve. I see that as an inconsistency, such as the Beautification and the Planning Commission, as I understand it. Personally, I find these requirements ridiculous for the following reasons. 1, we now have 1 commissioner, me. My remaining commissioner's term, that is the commission or the term of Marie Hall and Penny Niemeyer, either has expired or will soon expire, and they have applied for reappointment. 2, except for a question, do you reside within the city limits and are you registered and do you vote in the city of Galt? There is nothing on the application to volunteer for any commission that states plainly that these 2 questions are actually qualifications, so that applicants don't waste their time applying if they know they won't qualify in the first place. 3, the requirement to live within the city limits for a volunteer commission position is just plain impractical because it arbitrarily limits talented people that live close to the city limits who have a Galt postal address to serve. Since we are an advisory commission only without any power to make public policy, such a requirement is impractical and restrictive in my humble opinion. 4, the requirement to also be a registered voter and vote within the city precludes American citizens who choose not to register and or vote and non-citizens living within the city limits from participating or volunteering for a commission of their choice. As citizens, we have the right to vote and the right not to vote. And our voting pattern, if any, is no one else's business. We should encourage all citizens and non-citizens, as long as they are legal residents, to volunteer to help our city. 5, I would like to respectfully point out to the council that while there are those 2 requirements for volunteers for the Commission on Aging, a simple advisory body, employees who are paid by the taxpayers of this city apparently are not held to the same standard. In the interest of fairness and equal application of the law, I'm wondering if all elected officials of the city, who by state law may be mandated to reside within the city limits, actually reside within the city limits. 6, to establish consistency, I ask the council to change the present policy as follows. A, volunteers for any of our commissions are required only to reside in the city of Galt as determined by their postal address or zip code. B, drop the voting requirement in the current code. After change or after a change to the new ordinance is adopted and before any other applicant is considered, A, reinstate and appoint Andrea Johnson to serve out the remainder of her term. B, nullify previous denial of application and appoint my friend Alvin Roberts to a new term. C, appoint Marie Hall to a new term. And D, appoint Penny Niemeyer to a new term. Thank you for listening, folks. And again, congratulations to you guys.
Mr. Bellier,
Yes.
would you mind email me your statement?
Actually, I have copies if you
Awesome.
guys want.
I would like one, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Bellier, which of the people that you mentioned were actually in the middle of a term when they were asked to set?
Alvin Johnson and
I mean Alvin Roberts.
Alvin Roberts and Andrea Johnson.
Thank you.
Actually, I'm sorry, Alvin Roberts completed his term and was trying to get reappointed to a new term.
So just Andrea Johnson was.
Andrea Johnson.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ballier. Next, we have Bobby Singh Allen.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Bobby Singh Allen. I'm a proud trustee with the Elk Grove Unified School District. I'm here this evening, first of all, to congratulate all of our newly elected city council members. And specifically, I wanted to speak about two of them. First of all, our safety and security supervisor, Rich Lozano, who is the past president for the CCSD. Rich, you've done an amazing job already and have demonstrated exemplary leadership with an approach towards commitment to the community. And I know that you're going to do an amazing job for your city here in Galt. Sad to lose you in Elk Grove, but our loss is your gain here in Galt. And then next to my brother, Paul Sandhu. As proud members of the Indian American community, we believe in service, in public service. It is sort of embedded in our faith, in the Sikh faith. And we end all of our prayers with we say, Sarbatta Pala, which means blessings and welfare to all. So we are a service-oriented community, and it's just been wonderful to see Paul step up into leadership. It's tough, I know that firsthand, but I know that with Paul's guidance and with Rich's guidance, you have two people that are truly committed to building bridges in your community. Elections are a great opportunity. It's sort of like a new year. You have new beginnings, and you can chart a new course. And I wish each and every one of you blessings and good leadership and to make great decisions that benefit your community. So good luck to everyone, and thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, is it Jerry Sauter? Sauter?
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I want to congratulate our new council members on their terms. I just wanted to also thank the council for having the meeting last week, the public safety meeting, and inviting members of the public to come out and get a little bit better understanding of the proposed future for Carilion Boulevard. I did just want to take a moment to kind of follow up. I know there was kind of a very strong sense that we're looking at a road that really doesn't need a lot of work on it. And I have a daughter that goes to Liberty Ranch High School and a son that will be going to Liberty Ranch High School. And I know the builder's working on Marengo Road, and it's looking like it's almost nearing completion, and I still don't see a complete street there. I don't see a sidewalk that crosses the railroad tracks. I don't see a way for my daughter to walk home directly on Marengo Road since I live off Vauxhall. She would still have to go to Walnut to Carilion to have a sidewalk. So I just wanted to kind of restate that I know several members of the public felt that we have a road that is working, and we have a lot of other areas of Galt that could use some work. And I think Marengo is the road that needs to be a complete street, not Carilion. It's pretty complete. So I just wanted to share that feeling, and thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, could you just elaborate real quick on the Marengo
Maybe I'd have
sidewalks?
Mr. Winkler.
I'm sorry.
Elaborate on
Winkler,
that.
I didn't know
if
the appropriate person.
If the mayor would like.
You please.
I'm sure Chris could have answered as well. The sidewalk improvements on the west side of Marengo are planned during the current phase and are required to be completed before the 40th house is built. It's a multi-million-dollar effort for the developer, and the railroad has been causing some delays, but that will hopefully before the next school year will be completed. We have that plan for the community, and then as Eastview Liberty Ranch develops on the east side of Marengo, there'll be full frontage improvements that will go in on that side as well. And we're going to need to be a little patient and let development catch up with that. But I think the community will be pleased once we reach that full build out, which hopefully will be on the west side within a year, and then within the next couple of years on the east side.
That answer your question? Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to consent. Is that what we're moving on to?
No reports.
No, reports from council members by region boards and committees. Mr. Lozano, or Councilmember Lozano?
Well, the only regional board that that would pertain here is the Cosumnes CSD board, which will be swearing in their new board member and Jackie Moreno actually tomorrow, and Rod Brewer, who is reelected, and he will serve. My last meeting was last Wednesday, and it was a great time of celebration for the community, as well as all the people that have helped me along the way as I served 8 years on that board. And so it was it was a good time. So that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Sandu?
You know, I believe maybe next month, in the beginning of the year, when we assign to other regional committees.
Councilmember Farmer?
Nothing to report.
Councilmember Campion?
I attended last week the South Sacramento County Habitat Preservation Plan or Conservation Plan. They had some cleanup to do with the ordinances that will be coming back to us once again with some modifications to the documents which we already approved a month and a half ago. So we'll be seeing that again.
Okay. I attended the safety meeting, as did Councilmember Farmer, and we had a presentation by Mr. Arias and some considerations for some grant money. Last night, I had the pleasure of attending the CAPS party, and Councilmember Lozano did stop by there, and it was just wonderful to thank the volunteers in our community that you guys see out there so often, helping with anything they can help with, the streets, Grandma Cops. If you were at the Lighting of the Night parade, you saw that too. I had the pleasure of emceeing all the events that happened in the Lighting of the Night in the Littleton Center, and congratulations, Armando, you guys kept it moving on time, the schedule. They kept it there. They had so many people. Some of the choirs had 80 kids. So if you can imagine 80 kids and how many parents and family want to come watch them. It was just a wonderful night. And the parade was so long, we were done and we could see the end. The end hadn't started. So how many floats were there? I know we'll have a report soon, but.
We had over 50, a couple bailed out at the last minute, but I think the number was 54. And then I'm sure a couple showed up too. The last minute.
That was great. I heard a lot of great reports on that, and you guys went above and beyond. The food trucks were fantastic, and the Santa lines and everything. So it was a really wonderful event. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it.
Could I make a comment? I didn't realize. I thought this was on official boards and committees, not events. Yeah, I too wanted to say thanks for a good job on the parade. I unfortunately didn't get to ride in the parade like we've done in the past, but we saw about 2/3 of it, and it was really good. As Mr. Solis said, the attendance was up. And for me, the two parades we have, the Lighting of the Night and the 4th of July are two of my favorite events that we have in Galt. You know, keeps us have that small town feel. And so I encourage anybody who saw the parade, who wants to participate next year. You don't have to have a business or anything. You could participate, you know, as a family in a float. You can drive in a car. I mean, just anything, just simple bicycles, whatever. But it's just, this is what small town's about. So I would encourage any of you that saw the parade and want to participate next year to do so. That's all I had. Thanks.
Can you also thank whoever decorated the truck and the trailer for the council? That was really a great job. Appreciate that. Might have to bring them some cookies. Moving on to consent. Is there anything that needs to be pulled?
Read the items you want me to.
Yes, I would like to pull. My screen just changed. Sorry. Item 5.
Okay.
On the consent calendar, item 1 is minutes of the regular meeting of the November 6, 2018 meeting. Item 2 is receive and file warrants for period ending November 20th, 2018. Item 3, 500 Fairway Drive General Plan Amendment and rezone and zoning text amendment to allow billboards. Item 4 is 320 Fifth Street General Plan Amendment, rezone and design review project.
Do I have a motion?
So second.
And call for the vote? Oh. Councilmember Campion made the motion, and it was seconded by Farmer. Councilmember Farmer, did you second? Or Councilmember Sandu?
No, wait, actually, no.
Councilmember Lozano, one left. Oh, can I have a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Vice Mayor Farmer,
Aye.
Councilmember Campion,
Aye.
Councilmember Sandu,
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano,
Aye.
Mayor Lamson.
Aye.
Okay, the consent item that was
Approved,
pulled from
approved
regular
5 to 0? Okay. And then pulled for discussion?
Item number 5, gun range facility use agreement with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
Yes, first, thank you, City Manager Palazzo, for explaining the scope of this and going through the process of, the contract that's being presented and all that. I did also meet with Mr. Solis, and he answered a few questions for me. I just had a couple things I wanted to just bring up, actually, just so they were in public, but there's been some discussion on the maintenance of the gun range is taken care of by the Parks and Recreation. I just wanted to clarify that although the maintenance is performed by the Parks and Rec department, that it's not actually paid for with 06 money, correct?
All maintenance done to the range will be charged to 08, which is the range fund.
Okay, so it's nothing out of the Parks and Rec budget?
Yeah, regardless of who does the work, it'll be charged directly to that fund.
Okay, thank you. And my second question was regarding the cost. It was explained to me actually very thoroughly by Mr. Palazzo what the improvements were to be made to the range, the extension of the berm and the cinder block wall or whatever to extend on the third range because of a safety issue with that range, which is why the contract is a little bit less the first year because of those improvements that need to be made by January next year, and then we go to the full contract price the second. But my question was the $130,000 that's being estimated for that work. I was told that that's just an estimate. I was wondering, is that estimate based on something that's been done before? Because to me, it seemed a little steep for that work. I mean, I'm not an engineer, but I have some experience.
Ask Mr. Winkler to respond to that.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to have our city engineer, Mark Clarkson, who prepared the estimate some time back for purposes of negotiating to this point, give you the basis for that original estimate.
Mayor, City Council, congratulations. You'll hear that a lot tonight. So I did the estimate. It's a 40-foot wall, plus we've got import. We have elevations that we have to change in the field right next to it. It includes block and concrete and foundations and ballistic sand and labor, of course, going to go all with that with the contractor. We've got some engineering, project management, and a little bit of soils testing that we're going to have to do when we raise the lifts. And we also I have a 30% contingency in there, just not knowing exactly how long the block wall had to be. But I did estimate it for 40 feet, and I think that's exactly where we're going to have to be at this point. I have yet to meet with the range master out there. That estimate was done, I think, back in May or April of last year. But I had not met with the range master to say exactly where it needed to be. So that's where we have. And it's a good number. We're not going to be over that. You know, it should be a good number for construction this summer.
Okay, so, and if it is, so from my understanding, and please clarify, Mr. Plaza, to me, if for projects that are between 75,000 and 140,000, that it doesn't actually go out like RFP to public bid, it actually just we go to preferred vendor that we already work with for this work, is that correct?
I'm going to ask Mr. Winkler how we would bid that project.
Yeah, actually, under the city's approved procurement policy, for anything under about 180,000, under the State Contract Act, we have the ability to do what's called informal bidding. We have an annual bid list that gets refreshed by local bidders, and if the type of work has bidders on that, then everyone on the local list would be offered an opportunity to bid. If there are no, or fewer than 3 that do that type of work, then we would solicit a minimum of 3 bids. And then the city manager has the authority, if funding is approved in the budget, and one of the recommendations tonight would be to appropriate that funding, then the city manager would have the authority to award that contract.
Okay, so if it is, so tonight we're voting on approving up to 130,000. So if for some reason, although Mr. Clarkson doesn't feel it's going to, if it did come back, it was going to cost more than that, then it would come back to council?
Yes,
approval?
we would come back to council.
All right, thank you. That's all the questions I had. Thanks.
I just have a couple of questions, and thank you, staff, for briefing me on this early on. I just want to really get on public record the fact that we have to, the reason we have to extend that block wall is because it doesn't currently meet that lane of the range doesn't currently meet the standard that CDC requires to use a 100-yard range. They can only use it for 50 yards.
Yeah, it's my understanding it's guidelines that the CDCR uses, and their guidelines only allow the use of that range at 50 yards at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, one more thing too, just so the public knows, this contract that the city has been doing for a long time and re-entering is, this 130,000 is well paid for by this contract. It's a very good contract for the city of Galt. It's hopefully will be more lucrative as we move into this near future, almost with the gun range being paid off. So it's a good thing, and so the 130,000 is really we just wanted to make sure that some details were right by us. So just letting the public know that.
Any further discussion? Can I call for a motion?
Make a motion to approve item number 5.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Farmer,
Aye.
Councilmember Campion,
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano,
Aye.
Councilmember Sandu,
Aye.
Mayor Lamson.
Aye. And scheduled matters. Subject Cardosa 1 subdivision rezone and tentative subdivision map project. A report by Chris Arias.
Thank you, Mayor Lamson. Congratulations. This item will be presented by Cindy Ganos. She's the city's contract planner. After she is finished with the presentation, she, staff, and the applicant will be available to answer any questions you might have.
Okay.
Mayor, council members, the project site is located north of Cost Road and west of the Union Pacific Railroad tracks. The applicant is TTLC Cardoso LLC. The current general plan designation is low-density residential, and the current zoning is R1A. The applicant is requesting a rezone and a tentative subdivision map. The site is 17.5 acres. And the applicant is requesting to divide it into 70 single-family lots. One lot will be 0.62 acres, and that will encompass the 2 existing residences that exist on the site. One is considered a single-family unit, and the other one would be a secondary residential dwelling unit. So there will be 69 new lots that range in size from 6,500 to almost 18,000 square feet. So the density of the subdivision is just slightly over 4 units per acre. The applicant is requesting a rezone from R1A to R1C. R1A allows 10,000 square foot minimum lots. R1C allows 6,500 square foot minimum lots. The density of 4.09 associated with the proposed rezone is consistent with the general plan designation, and all of the surrounding residential developments are also zoned R1C. So the map itself, I'm just going to take you right to the picture. The map itself kind of connects the picture. Maria Way dead ends into the site. Crow Creek Drive dead ends into the site. So this subdivision connects those two streets with a traffic circle and then connects to Cost Road in order to provide a better circulation plan for the area. The existing in terms of infrastructure, the existing single-family home and the second residential unit will be required to abandon their septic and wells and connect to the city sewer, and then it will be city's services provided to all the new homes. In addition, because of the widening of Cost Road and the location of Maria Drive, we've asked that we've added a condition that the existing access for the second residential unit, which would be right next to Maria Drive, either be combined with the horseshoe drive that the existing house has or be relocated off of Maria Way. The owner has indicated a preference to be relocated off of Maria Way with that driveway. So along Cost Road, that house that's there now, the road will be widened and there will be a sidewalk, so their driveway will be shortened a little. And then once you get past Maria Way, there'll be a landscape strip and a sound wall that is consistent with what you see elsewhere down Cost Road. And there will also be a sound wall along the railroad tracks. So we prepared an initial study, a mitigated negative declaration for the project. The project, it determined that there wouldn't be any significant impacts. Mitigation measures were required for biology, cultural and tribal resources, hydrology and water quality, and noise from the railroad tracks. It was routed for public review for 30 days. We got 4 comment letters. Those were addressed in the staff report. Nothing raised significant issues about the content of the environmental document. We went to Planning Commission on November 8th, and they held a public hearing on the proposed project. By a vote of 5-0, the Planning Commission recommended that the City Council approve the mitigated negative declaration and the mitigation monitoring plan and the rezone. By a vote of 4-1, the Planning Commission voted to recommend Council approve the map. And the dissenting vote was based on the fact that the commissioner thought there should be another vehicle access on Cost Road for the subdivision. One resident spoke at the public hearing, raising concerns about traffic from the subdivision going through the existing Crow Creek Drive and Crow Creek Circle and Maria Way. So based upon Planning Commission's recommendation, we recommend that you adopt the resolution approving the mitigated negative declaration and the mitigation monitoring reporting plan. We recommend you introduce the ordinance approving the rezone, and we recommend you adopt the resolution approving the tentative map.
Public hearing. Okay. At this time, I open the public hearing. No comments? Close the public hearing? You got a comment? Unclose the public hearing?
Aiden is the applicant, and I believe he'd like to say a few words.
Hi, thank you, Chris. Yes, my name is Aiden Barry, and I'm with the True Life Companies. We are the managing member of the ownership group, TTLC Cardoso. We think your staff has done an excellent job in analyzing the project. We believe it's been fully vetted and identified under CEQA, and we agree with all of the findings and conditions associated with the staff report. We appreciate your Planning Commission's recommendation, and I'm here to answer any questions, but we look forward to your full support tonight. Thank you.
Okay. So to clarify, you did say the rezoning to the R1C is what is already in the neighborhood and the surrounding areas?
Yes. If you look at the surrounding neighborhoods, north and west, they're all R1C with a 6,500 square foot minimum lot size. As Cindy pointed out, though, there's a large portion of the lots in the subdivision which are much larger than the 6,500 square foot. But it is consistent with the other zoning there. And if you look at the map and the existing development, this project almost looks like a puzzle piece that fits right in. And the only reason we probably didn't see development here 20 to 30 years ago is that we didn't have a willing seller. So now that the property owner is selling, it's now ripe for development. But this area has been planned for this type of growth for quite some time.
Thank you.
I have a question, Chris. So the one concern that to have another access to Cost Road, is that where it does the circle at the bottom corner, that huge?
Yeah, the knuckle there. The planning commissioner with the resident thought that they should have a road to extend to Cost there, but it's too close to the railroad track. So we felt it wasn't warranted, and we prefer to have the vehicle access come. We try to minimize the vehicle access on the Cost, but in particular, that road is too close to the railroad track.
So the concern from the person, well, the one citizen who lives in the area, that their complaint was that they were feared that the traffic was going to impact up to the top of the map in the existing?
Correct.
I just can't see the street names, I'm sorry.
Right, there's Crow Creek is basically on the north side of that sub, right where Steve has the cursor. The gentleman owned the house at the corner of Crow Creek right to the west of the subdivision, and he did feel like traffic would be increased greatly to his neighborhood. And, you know, there will be an increase of traffic based on the subdivision, but as the general plan points out, you know, this area has been planned for this type of growth. There's been no identified issues with this density of growth. And so we just feel that, and based on the analysis in the general plan, that the traffic generated from it is typical of what you would find in a residential neighborhood. In fact, as Cindy pointed out in her presentation, at the intersection of Crow Creek and Maria Way, there is a traffic circle there, and so the intent of the traffic circle is to kind of slow traffic down. So that is a nice feature of the subdivision, but in reality, that traffic circle really wasn't needed. The traffic circle was put in more as a decorative item in the future because there's excess right-of-way at that intersection based on underground utilities, so it was just a nice amenity to put there, and by the way, it does help slow traffic down.
And that was the only complaint, was from the one person? Okay, thank you, Chris.
You know, I would like to make a comment on this project. That's a very nice project. I was on the planning commission when they approved the project on November 8th. Majority of the board, I still have that question about another exit, but I believe, Chris, there is a safety issue because that other exit, the residents was asking because due to safety, that's why we not allow, right?
That's correct. And again, it's the proximity to the railroad track, so that type of road is just not warranted. There is a distance requirement, and I don't recall the exact distance requirement, but that road would not fall. It would be inside that distance requirement, so it's not allowable.
Okay. Thank you.
There is a pedestrian access there, though, to the street, so that's kind of important for us to kind of make sure that we can get pedestrians through without having to walk to the intersection, but it's not full vehicle.
Any more discussion?
No.
Kimberly?
I just wanted to confirm that we then close the public hearing again since we reviewed
Okay,
it.
public hearing closed.
Thank you.
Would you like to read it, Donna?
The subject is Cardoso 1 subdivision rezone and tentative subdivision map project. Recommended action is to receive a presentation, open public hearing to receive comments. Upon closing the public hearing, adopt a resolution approving the initial study, mitigated negative declaration, and the mitigation monitoring and reporting program for the Cardoso 1 subdivision project. 4, introduce an ordinance, waive full reading, and continue to next meeting for adoption, approving the proposed rezone for the Cardoso 1 subdivision project. And 5, adopt a resolution approving the tentative subdivision map.
The resolution ordinance and the second resolution would need to be acted on as separate motions.
Okay, so we need 2 motions?
Yes, 3 motions.
3 motions, okay.
I recommend approval of the resolution approving the initial study, mitigated negative deck, as well as the mitigation monitoring program.
I will make a second.
Okay. Made by Councilmember Campion, seconded by Councilmember Sandu. Roll call vote?
Vice Mayor Farmer?
Aye.
Councilmember Campion?
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano?
Aye.
Councilmember Sandu?
Aye.
Mayor Lamson.
Aye. Do you want to motion the second one?
Introduce the ordinance, waive full reading, continue to the next meeting for adoption.
I will make a second.
Made by Councilmember Campion, seconded by Councilmember Sandu. Roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Farmer.
Aye.
Councilmember Campion.
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano.
Aye.
Councilmember Sandu.
Aye.
Mayor Lamson.
Aye.
Approve the tentative map, approve the resolution approving the tentative subdivision map.
Second.
So moved by Councilmember Campion, seconded by Councilmember Sandu. Roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Farmer.
Aye.
Councilmember Campion.
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano.
Aye.
Councilmember Sandu.
Aye.
Mayor Lamson.
Aye. Thank you. All right, the city manager's office. We have the temporary amendments to fee program for infill residential development.
And Ms. Mendez will present this item.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Congratulations to everybody. Exciting times. This evening, I am here to speak to you about an item that we are proposing, which is a temporary amendment to the city's fee program. This would be specific to infill residential development. So before sort of diving into what we're proposing, I think it's important for us to touch on what infill development is. And typically, infill development is seen as construction on scattered vacant or underutilized lots in established neighborhoods, more so in your downtowns, community centers, tend to be surrounding mostly your downtown area. Typically, the lots are less than 5 acres, and access to infrastructure is readily available for the lots. Roads, water, sewer, storm drainage is typically located on the site of the vacant lots. Some of the benefits of infill development is that it strengthens existing neighborhoods by increasing density and improves walkability, sometimes adds curb, gutter, and sidewalk to areas that have been disconnected from other residents, eliminates blight, weed abatement, and code enforcement issues, increases neighborhood property values with new development in an established area. One of the important ones I think to touch on is it really does increase the property tax base, and I think that's important from the city perspective. We have a lot of vacant infill lots that have existed for several years, and the property tax that's being collected is minimal. And so there is a benefit that we see with establishing new residents on some of these infill lots. And it provides a diversity of housing. And one thing that we have here in Galt is a definite shortage of rental units and lower income units. And so one thing that infill development provides is a diversity of housing. One of the things that I looked up today was just the availability of apartment units in Galt, multifamily projects, and there is 1 unit available right now out of 29 different multifamily projects. It's an 875 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment unit, and rent is $1,050. And so, unfortunately, that's sort of the issue we face. A lot of the development that we've had has been subdivision, residential development, not necessarily apartment development, or duplexes, triplexes, anything along those lines. The current situation here in Galt as it relates to infill lot availability is, we tried to do an estimate of what is currently vacant on the west side of town. And we accounted for approximately 24 vacant infill lots. They vary in size and mostly located between New Hope Road and Elm. There has been no new infill development occurring in Galt over the past decade. We've had extensive subdivision development, single-family development, but we haven't seen any of the infill development occurring. We've had significant interest in development of some of our infill lots, and what we run into is that really they're just not economically feasible because of the fees that are put on the projects, development impact fees. Also, increasing costs of labor and materials plays a big issue, and it makes it very difficult for these projects to pencil. And so they just haven't happened over the past decade. Early in 2018, we had a strategic planning session, and one of the items that was mentioned that was important to council was the consideration of infill development and looking at ways that we can spur infill development. And so we tried to brainstorm a little bit and determine what would be the most beneficial to try and attract some new development on the west side of town. In addition, infill development policies exist in our general plan and our housing element documents. So after research and discussing options with our attorneys, we have proposed a fee amendment to a couple of our development impact fees, actually a few of them, I should say. And this really is to better reflect what infill developers can pay for some of these smaller projects. This is very similar to a program that we adopted in 2012. Really, that was more for filling some of the vacant or subdivisions that had really just kind of stopped construction because of the recession. This is more geared towards spurring infill development. We're proposing a 24-month temporary reduction of the traffic impact fee and the recreation impact fee by 75%. And then we're proposing to eliminate the policy document maintenance and recovery fee completely. The proposed boundary of the fee reduction would be on the west side of town, as I mentioned, primarily between Elm and New Hope. So this map depicts sort of the area that we're looking at. And this is where the majority of the vacant lots exist in the community. The proposed traffic impact fee reduction is indicated here. The existing cost for a single-family unit for traffic impact fee is $11,612 per unit. We're proposing to reduce that to $2,903, which is a reduction of $8,709. Multifamily units currently are $8,112 per dwelling unit, and we are proposing to reduce that to $2,028 per unit, which is a reduction of $6,084. It's important to note that infill development typically utilizes existing roadways, and so there's no need for new infrastructure as it relates to the traffic impact fee. The proposed recreation fee reduction and policy document fee elimination are shown here. Single-family units up to a fourplex currently is $8,009 per unit, with the single-family to fourplex proposed at $2,002 per unit, which is a reduction of $6,007. The apartment existing dwelling unit cost is $6,630 with a reduction to $1,657, which is a difference of $4,973. So these are significant reductions that we're proposing, really trying to stimulate development on the west side of town, provide some infill development and residential units that we just have not seen produced over the years. In addition, we're proposing to eliminate the policy document maintenance and recovery fee. This is a fee that provides a funding mechanism to pay for periodic updates to various planning documents, such as the zoning and general plan documents. This shows an example of a 14-unit apartment complex and sort of what the reduction would look like. And so the total development impact fees for a 14-unit apartment complex valued at $1.4 million would typically be $408,000, and that is just the development impact fee portions. That doesn't include any of the miscellaneous building fees that we would collect. The proposed fee reduction would bring that fee down to $253,599, which is a 38% reduction. And the policy document and maintenance and recovery fee would be reduced from $4,340 to $0. So that fee would be eliminated. The eligibility requirements that we are proposing would be that this fee reduction only applies to new single-family or multifamily projects. The property must be located within the proposed boundaries, which I showed previously. The project must be on a parcel which is less than 5 acres, really to show that it's being used for infill development, and the property must be zoned for residential development. The fiscal impact is really going to be dependent on how many projects and the size and scale of the projects that we see develop as a result of this. I don't think that we're going to have, the floodgates open and we're going to have all of these developers come in wanting to, build, because right now it is very costly still, even with the fee reduction. But I think this does provide somewhat of an incentive for them to reconsider some of the lots that, property owners have right now. They've had interest, like I said, with the costs of labor and materials combined with the fees. It's just been not feasible for them. And so that, fiscal impact really is going to depend on how many projects we see. I would guesstimate that we will see maybe 3 or 4 projects over the next 2 years. This would be a temporary program that we're proposing for 24 months, really just to get a grasp on how lucrative this incentive is and if it's going to be enough to spur development. The traffic and recreation funds will likely see an impact as it relates to this. However, like I pointed out earlier, development typically utilizes existing roadway and park facilities, and so there would be no need for new infrastructure as a result of these infill projects. There is anticipated to be a minimal impact to the policy document recovery fee. It's not a very excessive fee, but without these projects actually happening, I don't think that we would see this funding come through. The big benefit, I think, to the city is the annual property tax, and the fact that what we see on property tax that the city receives on a developed property versus a property that's vacant is pretty significant. This shows just an example of a 9,000 square foot lot zoned for residential that's vacant, and what the city collects on an annual basis versus what we would collect approximately on a developed piece of property with a single family dwelling unit. The second half of the chart shows the increase on a high-density project. If we were to develop a 15-unit condo project or apartment project on a 3-acre lot, what the difference is. So there's a 135% increase seen with a developed single-family lot, a 300% increase seen on a lot that's developed with a multifamily project. So just in summary, we are proposing a 24-month infill residential development fee reduction, a 75% reduction of the traffic and recreation fee with an elimination of the policy document and maintenance and recovery fee. This program does meet the City Council's strategic priority that was set early in 2018, also meets general plan and housing element guidelines that are put forth in both of those documents. There is a potential impact to revenue generated by the in traffic and recreation funds. That's also going to affect the policy document fee. Anticipated increase in property tax revenue, as I mentioned, is probably the most beneficial for the city's aspect, but also just to have some of these residential units available for residents. Selection in terms of diversity of housing, I think, is going to be important. And that concludes my staff report. Can I answer any questions?
I have one. Do you have potential customers looking for this right now, or do you have to go out and market this? Or what's your plan for that?
Well, I think we will do both. We do have customers who have been interested, developers that are interested in taking advantage of the program currently, but I think that we will be recirculating back to some of the developers who have come through and requested fee estimates just to make sure they're aware of the program.
Thank you.
So I know, Amy, you and I spoke about this a little bit today. Some more questions popped up in my head after I saw the presentation. So you mentioned that your guesstimate would be within the next couple of years, we could see maybe 3 or 4 projects. This is just a guesstimate, but this is a 24-month program. So is there a certain reason why we decided to just go 24 months? Isn't this something we can just put in place and then decide to revisit it, or can we just I guess, decide just in 24 months to renew it and keep it going if it's a good thing?
I think the idea was that we would come back in 24 months to evaluate the success of the program to determine whether or not it's something we need to look at long-term.
Okay.
Because we would have to update our fee schedule, and that does take a little bit more in-depth evaluation. And so just determining whether or not this is a program that's going to be successful before we open up an entire fee document.
Okay. So, as I told you today, I like the idea. I'm a big fan of infill development, as Chris and I have talked about as well. I think we need to do something. We need to stimulate the economy. We need a shot in the arm. I think this is a stepping stone. I do think there's a need for this type of housing. My own family has been looking for the same, and it's not existent. I would actually love to see something like this extended onto commercial property as well, because although I do feel like we need this type of development, I would love to also see, a carrot be dangled in front of potential businesses that could be looking at moving into Galt that are kind of on the fence. And if they could have incentives like this could be, the real boost that we need to get these people to get off the fence and do something. So I would be curious if at what point we could look at extending this to this program, broaden this program to continue to include downtown commercial property or whatever. And I would wonder if council would support something like that.
I think that's definitely a possibility. You're talking to the economic development manager, who is always a fan of trying to get creative to spur development, specifically commercial and industrial development. So I think it's something that we have been talking about and we are exploring. Our hands are sometimes tied with the triggering of prevailing wage that Kimberly has to remind me about on a consistent basis. So there are things out there, though, that we are looking at and trying to draft to bring back to council for commercial and industrial purposes.
So what kind of time frame could we possibly be looking at before something could come across in front of us on something like that, you think?
For a broad program,
Yeah.
kind of based, I would say we can, within the next couple of months.
Yeah, I think that's a great conversation for our strategic planning discussions as we move into the new year, and kind of what our focus be for commercial development.
Okay. I know that the reduction, obviously, to Parks and Recreation makes me kind of cringe because Parks and Recreation is a program, is a department that's near to my heart, but I get that, we got to give somewhere, and this property just sitting vacant is doing nothing right now. So, something is better than nothing to start, I think. So, thank you for your answers.
And I believe this is a very good program. Fee reduction is can encourage to the developer to develop the land. And certainly we're going to get the benefit for the property tax. But on this one, I have a question, because when they make the boundary, it looked like to me they exclude all the east side. There is a particular reason, but I would like to put in the public what was the reason we don't include the east side, any of the part of the property. They also have a residential. They are, I don't know personally but you guys might be already have some kind of review or some kind of how many lots, the vacant lot under the same category under 5 acre, we are excluding on each side.
I think the intent with this really was to outline where the majority of the vacant infill lots existed, and that is definitely on the west side. That's not to say that we can't explore what's available on the east side of Galt in terms of they would have to meet the infill criteria guidelines. So less than 5 acres in established neighborhoods. And so I don't know how many lots there are that are existing like that. Primarily what's developed on the east side of town is new residential development, subdivision development. But, I would see maybe along Carroll Drive, Ayers, maybe there's some infill lots over there that we can look at. So that's definitely something that we can evaluate with our folks in Public Works.
To piggyback on his comment, is that something that could be looked at like on a case-by-case basis? Like if you have someone coming and saying, hey, I'm looking at this particular lot on the east side, and it does meet the criteria outlined in this, that could be included in that? Is there verbiage in this currently that Yeah. No.
No. What I would recommend maybe to the council is we, go back and take a look at the east side and kind of evaluate, see, how many lots and what's existing, and then come back to the council. It's a resolution. We can always, adopt a new resolution to address the east side or incorporate it in with the existing west side.
I mean, I don't want to slow this down because I love it. I like it, but I'm just,
Yeah.
I don't want to, so I don't want to slow it down in any way. I don't want to derail it, but I would love to see if it just had some verbiage in there that said that if there was, we could look at something as a case by case. If somebody came and said, I'm looking at this lot, if we could then
I
look
think
at
the
it.
approach maybe that we take will be to go back to identify what lots exist on the east side, adopt the program as it's set right now, bring an item back to expand the boundaries if we feel that it's necessary to incorporate some of those lots that may exist on the east side of town.
How do you feel about this, Kurt?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Rich?
You'd be in favor of tweaking it a little bit?
I think the concern, I think we do need to have a geographic boundary so that everybody knows what lots we're talking about and that they do meet the qualification for infill. My concern would be if you left it open with just language saying any other lot, that you could potentially have lots that were really designed for a larger scale development, somehow getting wrapped up into that and not really meeting what the infill intent was. So I think that what staff has outlined in terms of adopting it here the way it is and have them do some additional analysis, come back, redefine the boundary. I think that makes sense.
So we could still
Approve it today.
Approve it
still
tonight.
approve it today with
Absolutely.
we're
I
gonna
think staff
that's the boundaries.
understands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rich?
No, I think it's good. I would like to see what we could do on the east side as well, but I do think bifurcating it, doing this tonight, and then taking a look at the east side. And I really like the idea about commercial development and seeing what we can do to give it a shot in the arm to commercial would be a way to go. So thank you. Well done.
Okay. So can I get motion? Yep. To approve the temporary amendments for fee program for infill residential development?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Lozano, seconded by Vice Mayor Farmer. And I have a roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Farmer,
Aye.
Councilmember Campion,
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano,
Aye.
Councilmember Sandu,
Aye.
Mayor Lamson.
Aye. Once again, 5-0 vote. Communication? Do we have any communication?
Not tonight.
All right, City Clerk's office.
It's the Sacramento Area Council of Governments. This is a temporary appointment. On the agenda for December 18th are the appointments for city council representation, but there's an upcoming meeting, a subcommittee from SACOG that meets on December 16th, and Mr. Winkler has more details.
Yes, we've requested this item be put on as kind of an urgency item. There is a transportation subcommittee from Sacramento Area Council of Governments that will be deciding the fate of over $120 million worth of local grants, one of which is an expansion of the C Street project, refund some of the, from Civic Drive to the west, elements that were not funded with the previous project. And we have a staff recommendation of an approval of a $2.5 million additional grant. There'll be matching funds that will have to go with that from the city. And it looks like they're going to delegate to the Transportation Committee, of which former Councilmember Cruz was our representative. So in that's going to happen in 2 days, we want to make sure we're there to vote and perhaps put in a good word if there's an attempted raid on any of the recommended funds that would potentially be coming to Galt. And so kind of do a temporary assignment. I believe at your next meeting, you'll probably be appointing a permanent SACOG representative, and then those committee assignments would be made by SACOG, but we felt it would be good if the city had a voting rep available for Thursday and would offer whoever is appointed, should that be your pleasure, to meet with City Engineer Clarkson to go over our grant application and some of the nuances of that, and would attend with you, whoever's appointed to Thursday's committee meeting where
$2.5 million hang in the balance for Galt.
What time is this meeting?
I believe it's 10 a.m. on Thursday.
Yes, it's 10 o'clock.
I may have a conflict. So I would, if I can work out my conflict, I would go, but I would like to have a designated alternate available in the event that I cannot make it.
And I have a conflict.
I can make it work.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Just let me know.
I will let you know. I will let you know, but I
Nominate.
I think it's important.
it is. It's very important.
Yes.
It's very important.
So can I get a motion, or can I nominate Councilmember Lozano?
Make a motion
Make
to
a motion.
appoint Campion and an alternate Lozano.
Can we go that way?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Make a motion to appoint Councilmember Campion, and as an alternate, Councilmember Lozano.
Second.
Made by Mayor Lamson and Vice Mayor Farmer. And can we call for the vote?
Vice Mayor Farmer,
Aye.
Councilmember Campion,
Aye.
Councilmember Lozano,
Aye.
Councilmember Sandu,
Aye.
Mayor Lamson.
Aye. I almost answered to say Lozano anyway. All right.
I would also like to bring up one more thing. I just wanted to give an update on the applications we've received thus far for the many committee openings that we do have, and then encourage the public to also submit more applications. On the Beautification Committee, we have we have 3 openings, and I have received 2 applications. On the Commission on Aging, we do have 4 openings. We've received 3 applications. The Youth Commission has 3 openings. I've received 2 applications. The Parks and Rec Commission has 3 openings. I've only received 1 application. For the Planning Commission, there are 4 positions open. I've received 9 applications for the Planning Commission. On the Public Safety Committee, there are 3 positions, and I've received 3 applications. The Historic Preservation Advisory Committee has 1 position open, and I've received 1 application. And the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control also has 1 position open, and I've received 1 application. We are taking applications through December 6th, just so they can be included in the agenda packet, but we will take them all the way up to the day of the meeting of December 18th.
Okay, so get the word out there. All right, and comments by staff? Where do I start? Do I start with Mr. Arias? Okay. You look like.
Yes, thank you. A couple items. One big one is tomorrow, our annexation of the industrial land north of the existing industrial park is going to be heard by LAFCO at 5 o'clock. So that's kind of exciting that we've got this to that point. In addition to that, we've rolled out some preliminary information on the climate action plan. We met with the Youth Commission last night, and the Youth Commission was great and engaged in some strategies and helping us create the climate action plan. And we also rolled out, as was noted earlier, the Carillion Boulevard Master Plan. We met with the Public Safety Committee on last Monday night, as a couple of you know, and we provided an existing conditions report, and then also looked at some possible solutions, and then sought public input. It was well attended, and actually people participated greatly, so we were kind of excited. The next step for both of those projects is really to go to Planning Commission with another public meeting to fine-tune both plans, and then once we settle on a plan, then start the CEQA process, which would then come back to Planning Commission and City Council for final approval. So we expect that to happen next year. And finally, we are told Starbucks is having a grand opening on December 15th, but I'm not holding my breath. But evidently, they do have staff hired. They're getting ready to go. And I can't vouch for ARCO on when they'll go, but we're still pulling for Starbucks to open.
It's been a long wait. All right, Finance Department, Claire Tyson.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I just wanted to mention again that the City of Galt has received an award for excellence in financial reporting, kind of a big deal from the GFOA, and it's a credit to all of the hardworking staff that have been working very hard to improve the financial reporting and the transparency to the city.
Thank you. All right, Public Works Director Steve Winkler.
A little bit of a slower time of year. We got just in ahead of the weather with the sort of the second phase of parking enhancements down on 4th Street, and got some punch list items, and that project is about done. And similarly, out in the River Oak subdivision, we got the Marengo paving and the interior streets paved, and they'll be continuing with various striping and streetlight improvements, getting ready for hopefully spring construction within that last unit of the River Oak subdivision.
Thank you. Do I have to go down the line? Tina?
Just congratulations and welcome new council members.
Thank you. Amy? Mark? Cora? Who do you need to hire?
So we have the following positions open. We have a plant maintenance mechanic, police officer, public works maintenance worker 1 part-time, and public works director. Public works director is on continuous recruitment. We did have our first round of interviews today. We had 7 candidates. It went pretty well, so hopefully there'll be some next steps with there. And I just want to say congratulations. I look forward to working with you. Congratulations, Paige.
Thank you.
Mayor Lamson.
All right, Mr. Solis. Been quiet this meeting.
I like when you guys call me Mr. Solis. I just want to take the time, you guys had mentioned the lighting of the night. I want to thank my amazing staff. They did such a great job. I really, I get the credit, but they're the ones who are doing all the work. So I wanted to publicly acknowledge that the great job that they did. I also want to thank the police department and the public works department for all their hard work and blocking the streets and making everybody angry and making them going around. But we truly appreciate them keeping us safe. I'd like to thank the chamber for their support in the Santa pictures and the continued support of the city council for this great event for our residents. And I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you. Chief Stockman?
So on November 30th, we had a memorial service for Shirley Turner. She's one of our caps that passed away the day before Thanksgiving. It was an incredible celebration of life, and the Moose Lodge was filled, and then there's standing room in the back. So it just shows what kind of a person that she is and was. And anybody that has an older house in Galt, if you were able to look at who wallpapered your house, it was probably Shirley. And she was an amazing caterer that catered a lot of the city functions. The stories that we heard were incredible. So I just want to acknowledge her and for all the dedication that she did for our CAPS program since 2013 as a grandma cop. Lighting a night parade was amazing. Had a great time. But I got into a black and white, and I'm a little bit of a stickler for keeping your car clean. And I got in that car and I said, this car stinks. And I was a little upset when I got in the car. And then I realized the reason why it stunk is because that car responded to the campfire up in Butte. So I thought it was a good idea to give you an update. We had 370 personnel hours dedicated to response to the campfire. That's covering 10 days, 22 officers, and 3 dispatchers that responded up there to help out those folks up there. So our cops are amazing, our dispatchers are amazing, and they all just volunteered and they said, I'm going. So I wanted to thank our staff for that. That's incredible. Last night, we had our CAPS dinner, a great way to honor those volunteers that put so much into this city. Without those CAPS, quite frankly, a good chunk of our mission at the police department and special events in the city and stuff would not be accomplished without them. So, just one way that we can show our appreciation. And thank you, Mayor, for being there last night, and Council Member Lozano. So just a tremendous event. So Steve said it's a slow time for Public Works. It's a unbelievably busy time for the police department. So when I sit down with my calendar with my wife and I said, so yeah, we can take care of that, whatever it is that she wants me to do, she just laughs at me and says, I don't see you in December. December is a really, really busy month. So let's go over some of those things. December 8th is our Cars for Kids Toy Rally, second annual. Thank you, Councilmember, Vice Mayor Farmer, for your assistance with that and leading that charge. It's a tremendous opportunity to, get some more toys and everything else for the families in our community that are in need. December 10th, we have a holiday open house, the first one we've ever done. It's an event thought out by two of our staff, and they wanted to put this on, and my job was to say yes, and then step out of their way and let them run with it. It's a Polar Express theme, and they're just doing an amazing job. Which I think is really incredible is that this Friday, Galt High students are coming to our police department and decorating our police department. They're doing that. The message has gone out through robocalls, through letters, through social media, through posters and everything else to get our youth and our kids to come out for that event. So that is December 10th from 5 to 10. On December 12th is our annual awards banquet honoring our members of our department for their amazing work, our of the years, medals, life-saving awards. This year, we saved 6 lives, our police department did, through their efforts. There are 6 people that are still alive because of their skills and everything that they've learned in their training and everything, and keep these folks alive when they respond to calls. So we're going to be honoring those folks too. And then on December 16th is our holiday toy drive giveaway at Station 44, and that's from 10 to 1. And that's where all of those efforts and all of the generosity and everything of the people of Galt and our surrounding communities, bringing all those toys and everything else for those families. So it's just absolutely incredible. It's heartwarming to see the outpour with partnering with CSD and those efforts and everything else. It's just absolutely incredible. And to see the smiles on those kids' faces and everything else, where most of them wouldn't have Christmas that some of us enjoy. This is their opportunity, so it's just a fantastic event. So, and I say all that stuff just like Armando. This is the efforts of the staff. I get to go and smile, show support, everything else, but it's really the staff that do all of those things that I talked about. They every single day working that hard and everything else. Because quite honestly, they love this community and the community loves them, and it's because of that hard work and dedication between the two of them. Finally, congratulations to all of you on your new appointments, new mayor, new vice mayor, and council members and everything else. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you. City Manager Eugene Palazzo.
Just congratulations to our new council members and to our mayor and vice mayor. I look forward to working with all of you this next year. That's all I have to report. Thank you.
Right. Attorney Kimberly Hood.
Just want to echo the congratulations again to all of you this evening. We look forward to working with all of you, and that is all I have. Thank you.
Kurt.
The chief touched on it briefly, and that was the campfire. And that's something that is very close to me. It was the community I was raised in. And I know a number of people who've lost their homes. Literally thousands of people have been displaced and really have nowhere to go. I know that there are a lot of organizations out there, Salvation Army, Red Cross, are making attempts to address those needs. My request is that just keep those people in mind, and if there is something you can do, please do it. There are a lot of people that are just in a very, very bad way. Thank you.
Councilmember Lozano. Councilmember Sandu.
First of all, I would like to thank you, my family, my friends, and whole Galt community give me the opportunity to run as a city council. And now the election is over. You know, it is hard, and I'm also proud the campaign we run very positive. And I also like to congratulate Sean Farmer and Rex Lozano. And we all are believe a good team, so we can take the city in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Farmer.
I have a couple comments to make, and then I actually have something for a possible future agenda item. But I too would like to say thank you for all the support, all the people that helped me with my campaign. You all know who you are. A lot of different people, a lot of different things. I can't even begin to go into detail, but you know who you are, and you know what help you gave me. I want to thank my family particularly my wife, Heather, and my daughter, Megan, and my daughter, Christian and Keelan, who looks like they had to take off. They have work and school and things like that. So it was a big sacrifice for them as well to allow me to fill this role. My parents, friends, all the volunteers, so many people, and especially, what we were talking about, on election night is that this was, unprecedented turnout for Galt. We're looking typically at like a 46 or 47% turnout in a midterm election, and we got like a 66% turnout. I mean, that's phenomenal. And most votes ever cast in a city council election. I'm very humbled to be a part of that. And so it's just great to see the people of Galt, just want to be involved and care, because nowadays people don't care. They just or my vote doesn't matter, my voice doesn't matter. What's it gonna, my vote doesn't count. That attitude, and it does. And so I think I encourage people to be more involved. If you're watching at home and you're not here in the meeting, get involved. There's lots of, as Donna mentioned, we have lots of openings for commissions and committees. We've all served on some of those. There's all kinds of organizations in town that do great things in town. Get involved. This is what small town's about. Pick something, pick a cause, get involved, volunteer, just do something. We want to see people, get involved. And that's, so again, thank you for all the support in the campaign, to everybody that helped me and that helped me get here. And also too, thank you for the people that, the outgoing council, I didn't always agree with some of the council that was up there. We batted heads a lot. And, but you know what? I still have a lot of respect for those people. They gave many years of their lives. Mr. Cruz primarily gave 8 years of his life. 8 years is a long time. It's a lot of years of your life to commit to your community. So I want to thank you, Mark, for that. And then last, so as far as agenda items, in reference to Mr. Vallier's comment, I spoke with the city attorney earlier this week. It's something I've actually been passionate about for a long time. And to hear you speak tonight and to hear from some other people in the community really makes me really want to see if the council is supportive of doing some things. I feel that the stipulations for the committees and commissions, they're not consistent. They're, we have the planning, which to me has the most clout. We allow 2 people from the outside the city limits to serve on planning. And I feel like if we're going to allow that, I don't feel like there would be any reason why we couldn't extend the same requirements to such things as beautification or Commission on Aging. I know Alvin Roberts personally. I know Andrew Johnson. These are both really good people. Alvin Roberts has been like the pillar of the Commission on Aging. To lose him is like devastating to that commission. And I just feel that if, these people, Galt is a community. We're not a city, we're a community. And so these people, they have Galt addresses, and, they're not allowed to vote or any of that. And most these commissions and committees are not allowed to serve. And I feel that not only would this broaden the pool of applicants that we could sometimes get, but it also allows, the city of Galt to extend a hand of gesture and say, to the rural citizens of Galt that you matter. We do, include you in our community. You are part of our community, and we'd love to have you volunteer and help serve for public safety or for beautification or, Parks and Rec Commission. These are all advisory groups. They don't have any policy-making powers. So I feel I would like to see some consistency across this. And I personally, although I know we have a lot of applicants so far, I personally would like to table my appointments until we see if there's council support for maybe moving to look at changing this.
So Vice Mayor Farmer, that's something that's been near and dear on my heart. When I first came on, I brought it up, and it didn't go anywhere, but I would agree with maybe moving it to the sphere of influence or the same district as the high school district. There are a lot of commissions we have trouble filling, and commissions like the Youth Commission, you need a very specified set of skill sets to work with the youth, and a lot of times they don't live in the city limits. A lot of our school board members don't live in the city limits, and they're familiar with working with youth. So I think that's something I'd really like to look into and maybe bring back on the agenda. Anybody else?
I would agree. I think we at least need to take a look at it. What would be the consequence of not making appointments to certain commissions or committees as scheduled for the first of the year?
So the process, because it's in the municipal code for most of the commissions, the beautification, public safety, commission on aging, for instance, planning, parks and rec, all the qualifications are set forth in the Galt municipal code. So to change the municipal code, we need to do an ordinance to amend the municipal code, which is a little bit longer process under the law, but that would basically extend the time where you may have some vacancies on the commissions. So, you know, there wouldn't be any action that could necessarily be taken in that time slot. So you would have potentially times where the commission couldn't have a quorum to actually move forward. Now, some of these are advisory only, so there wouldn't be necessarily action that would be taken. So January usually is not too busy a month on the commissions and committees, so that might be something that is not a significant concern. Another option is that you know, if there's interest from the council in bringing this back, that we bring back an item on the 18th. As far as, I think we'd probably be a little constrained given what I'm hearing about looking at the different qualifications you want to take into account and consider and applying them to all the commissions consistently. So maybe it would bring back on the 18th, looking at the qualifications, what does the council want to do? And then we can bring back the ordinance that mirrors what the council's direction is and move that forward. So if some of the council members could certainly still proceed with their appointments if they see from the applications that are in and they'd like to proceed with their appointment. Otherwise, you can table your appointment on the 18th and proceed with the changes. So that would be my suggestion on how to do it.
Can we be notified of people out of the city limits that want to apply?
Well, if the council is interested in making the change, we can't do that yet because our Galt Municipal Code, well, we'd be kind of putting the cart before the horse, if you will, at that point. But if the council does make the change, and you don't have to wait for the full ordinance process to play out, which requires the first meeting, a second meeting, and then is effective 30 days, we could, after the first meeting, start to put out the word that the council is making the change, and so that interested community members outside of the city boundaries could also apply.
Okay.
And just to be clear, it's the Commission on Aging, the Public Safety Committee, and the Beautification Committee. Those are the only three that are required to live within the city limit.
Isn't Youth Commission, no?
No, Youth Commission is the Galt High School District.
Okay, okay, and Parks and Rec does allow to, okay, so it's the three.
The Planning Commission is the Galt High School District.
Right.
Within Sacramento County, because being a planning commissioner, it's not applicable in San Joaquin County.
Okay, and I, you know, and actually, I wouldn't really want to table all my, I have some, you know, I've seen some applicants, I know some people that applied, so I would only be looking to table maybe a couple, so I wouldn't want to hold up, you know, anything, and if the other council members wanted to proceed with their appointments, I don't want to hold that up. I'm just saying, me personally, if there's council support for bringing this back for discussion next meeting, then I would like to somehow figure out if we can extend the deadline for applicant. I mean, I don't know how to do that. I don't want somebody to turn in an application and then get rejected, and then them actually be, you know.
Right. Well, I think
the recommendation would be to go ahead and proceed with the December 18th appointments. Again, any one of the council members can table their appointments.
Okay.
If they don't see an applicant that they feel is qualified to appoint for whatever particular committee or commission.
Okay. So I could, if we bring this back into this agenda item, if it does happen, then I can just, at that time, I could just make a gesture to table for certain committees if I want to.
Correct.
Okay.
For residency requirements, that's what we would bring back on December 18th. so
Okay.
that the city council as a whole could decide which direction they wanted to go forward.
Okay. So can I make a motion? Do you have to make a motion to bring it back for an agenda item?
no, we just need a general.
Jen? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Together.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, any other business? And we thought this was going to be short. Meeting adjourned at 7:56.